friends, I'm Elena from Moldova. Please like and subscribe. I was born in a small village to a single mother who achieved great success when she relocated to the metropolis. My mum was an entrepreneur, and every business she'd start would become a gold mine. And Mum spoiled me rotten. I just had to look at something and she'd get it for me. For my 7th birthday, I asked her if I could have a bigger swimming pool, and she had a water park installed in her backyard. My friends and I were ecstatic when we saw it. Oh, Mom, my God, Mom, you're the best!
Anything for you, dear. And don't forget the doctor's advice. Speak slowly, and you won't stutter as much.
Yeah, I used to stutter a lot when I was young. I mostly had it under control, but it could get worse when I was nervous or excited. But aside from that, my life was perfect, and everyone wished they were me. That is, until the 10th grade, when Mom's company stock crashed one day and she was left with nothing. We were gonna lose our house! I decided to ask my friends for help, but that's when they all revealed their true nature.
So sorry, Elena, but we're facing financial problems too.
I want to assist, but my dad works incredibly hard, and I doubt he'll give your mom any money. He always claims she got wealthy purely by chance.
Luck? My mom works really.
Your mom works really hard? I don't think so, and Dad's right. Now go away, please. We don't have all day for you to finish your sentence.
Gosh, people could change so fast. We did lose the house, and Mom decided to send me to her hometown to live with a friend for a while. Though I hated the idea of being away from her, I agreed for her sake. By the time I landed at the airport, I was already homesick. But just then I saw a boy my age holding a placard with my name. Hey, you must be here for me. Wow, it's really hot here. Wait, aren't you gonna pick up my bags?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Where are my manners? I'm Gabriel, and guess what? I'm not your servant, so pick them up yourself.
How rude! I carried my bags and followed him outside, only to find a donkey. Where's the sea car?
Gosh, you sound like a broken record. That's your ride, princess, so hop on.
That was my first experience on a donkey cart. I didn't mind, but the entire journey I felt like hitting this boy Gabriel for mocking me. Mom's friend was delightful, though. She embraced me the moment she saw me and then led me to a tiny room. This is so cute. My cat has a room just like this.
I had to leave my room for this city brat. Look, if you don't like it, you can always sleep in the basement. It's got lots of space. And pets, too. A family of rats.
What a jerk. I wouldn't have lasted a day there without his amazing mom. And I mostly tried to pretend he didn't exist. A week later, I started school. And surprisingly, I made friends instantly. But soon I discovered why. All the girls wanted to know what it was like living under the same roof as Gabriel. Not great, 'cause he's a moron.
A handsome moron!
A few days later, our school was having a football match, and I volunteered as the water girl. Gabriel was team captain, and all the girls were chanting his name. Geez, so lame! Sure, he was handsome, but just a little. I was so busy looking at him that I didn't notice this player trying to catch a ball. And he crashed straight into me. Are you trying to kill me? Watch where you're going!
Great advice. I'll remember it for next time.
He just smiled like an idiot. And before running off, he winked at me. The next day, I saw the same player outside my school, with thousands of roses. As soon as he spotted me, his silly smile was back.
Hey, beautiful. These are for you. By the way, I'm Nova.
Wow! That's a lot of roses. Thanks. Nova was on the football team of another school, but he just turned up outside every day to ask me out. I kept saying no, but he wasn't taking it. And then one day at home, I saw a car pull up outside with Nova in the back seat. But just then I saw Gabriel's mum go to the car. And the driver stepped out, handed her an envelope, and left. What was that all about? Later I asked Gabriel's mum, and she told me her husband used to work for Nova's dad. And even after he was gone, the family kept helping her with money. They were even paying for Gabriel's school. Wow! That made me see Nova in a different light. So the next time he asked me out, I said yes. When Nova picked me up for our first date, he said, I was surprised. This is where you live. How do you know these people? I told him everything about why I had moved here.
I'm sorry, that sounds tough. But just be careful of that Gabriel.
What do you mean?
Gabriel's dad worked for us, and we'd play together as kids. But I always felt like he resented us, especially me. Like he hates me because I was born rich and he wasn't. I'm sure he has nothing nice to say about me. Even after everything my family does for him.
I didn't have trouble believing that. Gabriel was always mocking me too, for being some rich brat. My date with Nova was totally unexpected. Instead of taking me to some fancy restaurant, he took me to a soup kitchen for the homeless, and we signed up as volunteers.
I always come here when I want to do something special. Feels good, doesn't it?
This boy was so sweet. When he dropped me back home, I found Gabriel on the porch.
Seriously? You're dating Nova? Did the rest of the male population die?
What's your problem? He's a nice guy.
Oh, yeah? So where'd you go on a date? Was it an orphanage this time? Or a pet shelter to see some poor puppies? That's the kind of stuff he does on first dates to impress girls.
I don't expect you to understand what it means to be genuinely nice.
I didn't expect you to be this dumb. But hey, you surprised me. Actually, you guys deserve each other. Two spoiled brats.
Nova was right about him. He sounded so judgy and bitter. I started going out with Nova and was having a good time, but he was always too generous with fancy dinners and gifts, which made me uncomfortable. Nova, I wish you wouldn't. I can't give you gifts like these.
I'm not expecting anything. But I can spoil my girlfriend, can't I?
He gently kissed me for the first time. And I didn't exactly feel sparks. And I felt he was falling for me much too fast. The next morning, I didn't see Gabriel or his mom anywhere. And then I found them both in her room. She was in bed with a high fever. When we called the doctor, he said she'd caught some virus. He advised us to stay home from school for 2 weeks, too. I really wanted to help in some way, so I made soup for her. I was carrying it up to her room when Gabriel stopped me.
What's that?
It's soup. Mom would give this to me when I was sick.
No, thanks. You're not giving that to my mom. How would you know how to cook anything when you never had to lift a finger?
And suddenly I snapped. Gabriel, can you just shut up for once? Yeah, I used to be rich. It's not a crime, and I'm not useless and spoiled. I pushed him aside and went up with the tray. Gosh, I was so sick of him. Later at night, there was a knock on my door, and Gabriel peeked in.
I'm sorry about earlier. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that.
Yeah, you shouldn't have, but it's okay. I get that you're worried about your mom.
Yeah, but I haven't been very nice to you. I'll be better.
After that day, Gabriel and I kinda became friends. We took turns caring for his mom and doing household chores. And at night, we'd sit outside and talk for hours. He was sweet and simple and was really starting to grow on me. 2 weeks flew by and his mom recovered completely. One day, Gabriel was working in the garden while I was reading and observing how good he looked, when suddenly he spoke.
Hey, Elena, can you check if the water is coming from the hose? I don't know if it's broken or...
Just as I picked it up, water came gushing straight at my face, and Gabriel was laughing like crazy.
Gosh, you are so easy to trick.
I picked up a handful of mud as he ran off. As I was chasing him, he tripped and fell, and then I rubbed the mud all over his face.
What are you doing to her? Jerk!
Nova was about to attack Gabriel when I stopped him. Hey, we were just playing. I started it.
And why were you doing that? Did you forget I was picking you up for dinner?
You're going to tell her what she can and can't do now.
The boys looked ready to kill each other. So I dragged Nova aside and told him to wait in the car while I cleaned up. I had totally forgotten about dinner at his place. Nova lived in a mansion with his dad, who welcomed me warmly.
You're living with Gabriel and his mom, right? His father was a close friend of mine.
Friend? Come on, Dad, he was our servant. Dad's really soft-hearted and likes helping people. Gabriel would have never gone to school if it weren't for him.
And I'm glad I helped because that boy is hardworking and will make something of himself. Unlike some entitled rich kids I know.
Just then his dad excused himself and Nova flung his plate at the wall.
This is what happens every time I bring that jerk up. Dad has always liked Gabriel more than me.
I'm sure that's not true.
Don't think I'm blind or stupid. You like Gabriel more too, don't you? You've been avoiding me for 2 weeks just to spend more time with him.
Are you crazy? I told you his mom was unwell.
Liar!
I stared at him in shock, and he suddenly snapped out of his anger.
Elena, I'm sorry.
I'd like to go home, please. I felt shaken. On my way back, Nova was turning out to be really strange. And at home, Gabriel was sitting in the kitchen with an unpleasant face.
You're back early.
Were you waiting for me?
Yeah, waiting to tell you that you're an idiot for dating Nova. He's fake and horrible. Why can't you see that? Are you blinded by his expensive gifts or too impressed by his mansion?
I was gonna tell him I was breaking up with Nova, but that made me so mad. There you are. Back to being a jerk. Mind your own business, Gabriel. And don't talk to me. Gabriel and I stopped talking after that day, and I broke up with Nova too. He kept begging me to forgive him, but I held my ground. He was just too much. A few days later, Mom called me with the most amazing news. Her company was up and running again, and she wanted me to come home. I decided I'd leave right after the final exams the next week. There was nothing keeping me here. Anyway, after exam week, there was a big football match between our school and Nova's, and I made sure to sit far behind on the bleachers so he wouldn't spot me. The match was an intense one. Gabriel and Nova kept butting heads on the field and almost broke into a fight. But our team won by a large margin, and Nova stormed off the field furiously. Gabriel looked so happy, and I wanted to congratulate him. I thought I'd catch him outside the locker room. But I walked into the building to find 2 guys pinning him against the wall as Nova punched him. "Stop it! Nova, don't hurt him!" Nova turned to me with crazy eyes.
Oh, how worried you are now. But you didn't care when you hurt me. I know you broke up with me because you have feelings for this worm. After all that money I spent on you. I thought because you were rich once you'd have some class, but you're just cheap.
You're a psycho. And yeah, I like Gabriel a lot. Now I understand why your dad likes him better.
You'll pay for saying that. I'll make sure Dad stops giving them any money. I'll convince him. You'll see.
No, you won't, Nova, because I've seen everything I needed to, and I am so disappointed in you.
We turned around to see Nova's dad, who'd come to see the match, and he looked furious. He grabbed Nova's arm and led him away. "Gabriel, are you okay? Yours face."
I'm fine, Elena.
"I should have listened to you about Nova."
No, I was unfair and mean to you, and I'm really sorry about what you said back there. Is it true?
"Which part?"
The part where you said you like me a lot.
"Yeah, I like you. Big deal."
Like me because I like you?
"I guess it's just you then." He grinned and pulled me in for a kiss, and it was perfect.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I live in Canada. Please like and subscribe to Luna Avatar. I was born in a vibrant city full of colors, but I can only see a few of them. I found out I was colorblind when I was just 3 years old. People think my world is just black and white, but actually, to me, a rainbow is only blue and yellow. It's a genetic thing because my dad is colorblind too. Oh, and he was super rich, so we lived in this huge mansion. It wouldn't be so bad to be just like him. The trouble began when I started going to school. My teacher went crazy trying to explain colors to me, but I couldn't identify a single one correctly. The other kids just made it worse, especially my classmates Cindy and Ryan. They were twins, and they were both super annoying. They would judge and review my outfit every single day in front of everyone. Dad and I couldn't spot a lot of patterns, so most of the time, I honestly had no idea what I actually looked like.
She looked like a stupid clown. Did you get dressed in the dark?
I'm colorblind!
What is that? That's fake.
Cindy even told the whole class that I was lying about a weird fake disease to cover up my stupidity, and everyone looked at me like I was dumb. Ryan was somehow even more annoying than Cindy. He wanted to test and see if I was telling the truth, so he would randomly put paint marks on my things to see if I would notice. Stop ruining my things!
You jerk! I knew you lied. You could see them.
I don't see some colors! Some! One day, Cindy went too far. She stole my sketchbook, tore up all my drawings, and pasted them all over the school hallway. The whole class laughed at my blue tree and green skies. I attacked her, and we started fighting on the ground while all the other kids cheered. Suddenly, Ryan showed up and stopped us.
Stop it, Cindy. Take the pictures down.
What's up with you? You're taking her side?
If she's really colorblind, we shouldn't make fun of her.
I was in shock. Ryan was defending me. Cindy walked away fuming and I thanked him. Not only did he take down all the pictures and clear everyone out, but he also apologized for not believing me. He then spent days asking me tons of questions to better understand my condition.
Is everyone in your family colorblind? Is it like temporary memory loss? If I hit you on the head, will you see colors again?
Oh, that was such a dumb question. But honestly, he's kinda cute. I thought we could actually become friends, but something happened that ruined it all. The interview to get into a fancy private middle school. All the kids wanted to get into that school because it was the only good one in the entire town, and the competition was insane. Unfortunately, I didn't do well on the test, and the teacher didn't hesitate to cut me from the pass list. Cindy laughed out loud.
Ha! I knew you were stupid.
Before the first tear could say goodbye from my eyes, my dad jumped into action. He offered the school a huge donation to accept me.
Sorry, but we don't have any spots left for any more children. Even if you—
I'll double the donation, then give her someone else's spot.
Dad, that's cheating! The teacher's eyes lit up when she saw the check. And unfortunately, Cindy was the one who got picked.
You have the lowest marks after Hannah, so it has to be you.
The stupid teacher was so happy about the donation that she let it slip, and Cindy and her parents went crazy with rage.
This is bribery. This is unfair.
The crowd of adults became chaotic and started fighting each other. Ryan gave me the worst look ever.
I can't believe you would do this.
I knew he was cheating, but Dad refused to back down. We joined our new school, and Ryan came without his twin. One day, he told us that Cindy had been sent to boarding school.
None of the other schools in town are good. Now she has to live away from her family. I hope you're happy, Hannah.
That was the day we became enemies. He hated me. I felt guilty, so I bought him a lot of presents as an apology, but he kept throwing them back in my face.
You can't buy me, you brat!
He told everyone that I was only here because of bribery, and they all thought I was a rich, spoiled jerk. He called me stupid names in class, and he made fun of my outfit so much that I started asking my maids to choose them for me. As if school wasn't hard enough, as I was growing up, the subjects were getting harder, and our textbooks labeled everything in different colors. I could hardly understand what my teachers were teaching because they always used colored chalk and gave us color-coded notes for every class. Every time I failed, Ryan was ready to attack me.
Oh, isn't your dad super rich? Why don't you just buy yourself a better grade?
I threw my paper in his face. Even if I was bad at getting grades, I could still dance, sing, and run. I started going to classes and training after school, and in a few months, I was a part of both the school track team and the cheerleading squad.
I guess you can buy a place in any club.
Shut up, Ryan! Make me! I did make him shut up when I won my first gold medal in track. I rubbed it in his face so hard when my winning streak continued. My principal called me to her office to congratulate me and said,
Hannah, you can get amazing offers from colleges if you keep performing like this, but you have to maintain an average grade of AC.
That made me nervous, and his solution made me want to throw up.
We're going to partner you up with the best kid in school, Ryan.
Ryan walked in with the most evil look on his face. The teacher said that Ryan would be my partner in every class from now on, and he would tutor me every day after school. Oh no, I tried to protest, but my teacher thought it was a great idea and Ryan agreed with him. What was he going to get out of this? The answer was simple. He wanted to torture me. He gave me a mountain of homework every day. And if I didn't do it, he threatened to report me to the teacher whenever we partnered up for projects. He made me do all the work for the learning experience. He was going out of his way to annoy me. And one day, I just vented to my dad about it at dinner. I was not prepared for what Dad did next. He showed up at school and barged into class with the principal. They announced that Ryan was expelled for bullying me. What? We all rushed to the principal's office and I screamed at my dad. What are you doing?
Getting rid of your bully.
I didn't want you to solve my problem. I just wanted your support.
I am supporting.
You can't just crush people's lives for me. It's not fair. It's what made everyone hate me in the first place. If you do this, I am never talking to you again. Dad looked shocked. We had never shouted at each other like this.
Fine, he can stay. Never bully my daughter again.
With that, Dad stormed out without even looking at me. I'd never fought with him before, and I couldn't help but cry when Ryan offered me a tissue. I slapped his hand away. I don't want your help. Just go away.
I'm not helping you. I'm just standing near you and I happen to have a tissue.
I snatched it out of his hands and turned to leave, but he pulled me back.
Why didn't you just let him expel me? Don't I bug you?
I'm not a jerk. I hated taking Cindy's place and I wish I could undo it. I'd never do that to someone again.
I may have been meaner to you than I needed to be. I'm sorry.
You're what?
I'm sorry, okay? I'm not saying it again.
With that, he ran away and I was stunned. This was the nicest conversation we'd had in years. When I went home that day, Dad and I sat down to talk about what happened. To my surprise, he apologized for going overboard. I made him promise to trust me and let me handle my life myself.
How can I make it up to you? Is there anything that you want?
That's when I got an idea. I asked Dad to pay the school to offer Cindy a place again. She's living away from her family because of us. We should fix it. Dad agreed. And the next day, he put in a request to have Cindy transferred back. She accepted the offer from our school, and when Ryan realized she was coming back, he went crazy.
Did you do this?
Yes, I'm so happy she got accepted.
Thank you.
He grabbed me in a hug so tight I could barely breathe. He finally forgave me for everything that happened, and we became friends again. He tutored me for real this time. He found colorblind-friendly versions of our textbooks, and if he couldn't, he would make notes that I could clearly understand. I finally got a B average, and I got an offer from an amazing college. I literally flew into Ryan's arms. He lost his balance, and we fell. Our faces were so close together that I blushed. Suddenly, someone pulled him away from me. It was Cindy. She was back, and I was nervous. I was sure that she still hated me for all those years she had to be away from her family. But she acted totally sweet and normal.
I know you took my spot, but I bullied you when we were kids. We both did stupid things. I miss my family, but I had a nice life in school. I'm just happy to be back now, and I hope we can be friends.
I was shocked, but Cindy and I actually started hanging out. When Ryan finally got into his dream college, we all celebrated together. One day, Cindy showed up at my house and she was in tears. She told me that her family was out of money.
There's no way they can pay for Ryan's college.
But he literally dreams about college.
He can't go unless you do something about it. Your dad has connections, right? He can convince the college to give him a full scholarship.
No, we can't interfere.
We have to. Ryan already has a spot, so we're not hurting anyone. He works so hard. He deserves this.
I was scared, but she was right. I asked my dad for help and he said,
I have a friend at the university I can talk to. I'll do it.
A few days later, Ryan showed up at school fuming.
Did your dad contact the scholarship committee behind my back?
No!
Tell me the truth!
Everyone fell silent.
Yes, he did.
They just sent me their rejection letter for using my connections to get a scholarship. They banned me from applying again. You ruined everything, Hannah.
My jaw hit the floor as he stormed off. I'd messed up horribly. Ryan refused to come to school, and he didn't pick up any of my calls. Cindy even took me to their house, and he just hid in his room and played music at the highest volume so he couldn't hear me. I was utterly shattered by what I'd done. I told my dad about it, and he came up with a plan. He apologized to the committee and told them that Ryan had no idea about his involvement.
My daughter has a crush on the kid at school, so she made me do it.
Oh my God, Dad! With his explanation and a sizable donation, the school agreed to lift the ban on Ryan. I literally flew over to his house to tell him about it. He wouldn't open the door, so Cindy let me in through the window in his room.
What the heck?
The college wants you back. They lifted the ban.
I got their email. Did your dad pay for this too?
Maybe he did. So what?
It feels like you do whatever you want, and you just pay for your problems to go away.
I didn't pay for my problems to go away. I did it for you. I thought you deserved that school.
You're being an idiot, Ryan. I convinced Hannah to help. She didn't even want to do it.
I could have gotten into so much trouble.
I just acted rashly because I care about you. I wanted you to have what you want, and I almost ruined everything. I'm really sorry. When Ryan finally forgave me, I literally burst into tears. I did not like feeling guilty. They both hugged me, and I finally felt better. I promised to never mess with their lives again now that all three of us were friends. Cindy noticed my feelings for Ryan instantly. She was so excited for me to ask him out, but I would get all nervous and chicken out every time. One day, Ryan and I were sitting in the cafeteria when a boy walked up to me.
Hey, Hannah, Cindy said you were looking for a date, so I thought I'd take you out to dinner. You in?
Cindy gave me a wink and Ryan just glared at him.
She can't go out with you. She's going out with me.
I am?
Oh, I didn't ask you. I'll do it now. Hannah, you want to go out with me?
Dude! I asked her first.
She'll pick me.
I don't know.
Come on!
It's a real pickle. I'll need 2 or 3 days to think about it. Ryan leaned across the table and kissed me. I was breathless.
Yes, my plan worked.
Hi, I'm Jasmine from San Francisco. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I was born with cherry lips and big black eyes. My parents said I looked like a child out of a fairy tale. But whenever Mom and Dad talked to me, I never smiled or changed my facial expression. My parents tried everything to make me smile.
Mrs. Rabbit wants to play with you.
Come on, give Mr. Mouse a kiss.
Dad held a mouse puppet close to my face and made kissing noises. But I just stared blankly and slapped the mouse away from me. That's when my parents decided to take me to a doctor. After a few tests, I found out I had a condition called Mobius that meant I couldn't smile, frown, or lift my eyebrows. I was too young to understand what Mobius was, but when I was in preschool, Mom and I were at the mall when we bumped into one of her friends who had a daughter my age. She kept smiling at me, but all I could do was stare at her like a robot. Suddenly, the little girl started to cry.
Mommy, this girl is scaring me.
Oh, sweetie, don't be scared. Our dog ran away yesterday, so Jasmine's just sad.
But Mom, we don't have a dog? Mom pulled me away quickly. That's when I realized she was embarrassed to tell her friend I had a condition because that meant I wasn't normal like everyone else. And at school, none of the kids really wanted to be my friend because they thought I was strange. So I spent most of my time alone. But several months later, my life took a huge turn. Mom gave birth to my twin sisters, Kiara and Helena. My parents worked full-time, so we always had a maid in the house. But even with a maid, I was always the main one to watch my sisters. One day, Helena, the wilder twin, climbed all the way to the top of our backyard fence. Helena, come down right now!
No, I don't wanna. Kiara, come climb up and we can fly like birds do.
No, no flying! Kiara listened to me, but Helena was about to jump and my heart almost stopped. But then she started laughing like crazy.
Haha, fooled you!
I was furious and told Mom what Helena did. Mom went ballistic.
What is the matter with you, Helena? Why can't you be a good girl like your sisters?
Helena's eyes filled with tears. From that day on, she made everyone's life a living nightmare. She hated me for telling on her. And over time, Helena grew jealous of Kiara. Kiara was what you call gifted and could get straight A without even trying. One time, when the girls were in 4th grade, Mom and Dad threw Kiara a huge party for winning the school's spelling bee.
Our little Einstein, we're so proud of you, Kiara.
Helena stormed out of the room at that moment. And that night, she chopped off all of Kiara's hair while everyone was sleeping. Kiara burst into tears, and I tried to comfort her. Don't worry, it'll grow back.
Helena's such a mean bully.
I won't let her bully you anymore. Kiara, I'm here. Kiara slept in my room every night after that because she was terrified of Helena. I loved both my sisters, but Helena grew up to be so mean. Then one day in 8th grade, a new boy joined my class. His name was Daniel, and he wore those fat black spectacles. He was really short and really shy. While he was walking to class, this guy bumped into him and his glasses went flying. Daniel started freaking out.
I can't see anything.
I saw Daniel's glasses on the floor and picked them up quickly. Here you go, but it looks like they're broken.
It's okay, it's better than nothing.
Daniel put on his broken glasses. He looked silly, but also kind of cute. He and I ended up hanging out for the rest of the day, and he was super sweet and good to talk to. Over time, Daniel and I became really close, and I even started having feelings for him. But he always just treated me as a friend, and I didn't want to ruin what we had. Life in high school was good till Kiara and Helena joined and things got a little crazy. Whenever Helena saw me with Daniel, she grabbed the chance to make fun of me. One time Daniel and I were in the hallway when we passed Helena putting on lipstick.
Hey Daniel, don't you ever get bored of hanging out with sad face emoji over here?
Of course not. That's not a nice thing to say, Helena.
Yeah, get out of my sight before you regret it.
Okay, but first I need to do this.
Before I knew it, Helena had pinned me against the locker and drew a smile on my face with her lipstick.
You look so much better now.
I pushed Helena to the ground and she fell on her butt. She dragged me down, but Daniel stepped in.
Cut it out, Helena!
Daniel pulled me up and led me to the girls' bathroom. He helped me rinse the lipstick smile off, and I looked at my face in the mirror. Daniel, do you think I'm ugly? You can tell me the truth!
Jasmine, look at me. You're not ugly. I think you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen.
Daniel leaned in and kissed me, and I felt butterflies. A bunch of girls came in just then and started shrieking.
Ew, what's he doing in the girls' bathroom?
Daniel and I ran out laughing like crazy. I was on cloud 9 all that week. I didn't even mind that our maid was coming less, and I was doing all the chores by myself. But Helena couldn't stop talking about me having a boyfriend.
I just don't get it. How can someone like you have a boyfriend but not me? I'm way prettier than you.
Well, not everything is about looks, Helena. As time passed, Kiara started dating a popular jock at school. Her grades were still perfect, and she got much more popular than Helena. Kiara's life and mine were getting better and better, but Helena didn't have anything going for her. One morning, I woke up to find everybody at home, including my parents, which was rare, and Kiara was super sick. Her face looked super bloated, and she had red bumps all over her arms and legs. My parents left me at home with Helena while they took Kiara to the doctor. Helena was surprisingly well behaved and even stayed in to do homework. I decided it was safe to go out and see Daniel for a bit. But as I reached home, my parents and Kiara had also just returned. Guys, what's going on? Kiara, what did the doctor say was wrong?
I have an autoimmune problem. Apparently, every time I get an allergic reaction, this is what'll happen.
My parents left for work then. Suddenly, Kiara looked at her phone and started to cry.
Oh my god! Just look what Helena posted!
To my horror, Helena had posted a picture of Kiara with her red skin, bumps, and bloated face on Instagram. Underneath, the caption read, "Even pretty girls have ugly secrets." Just then, Helena came trotting down the stairs all dressed up.
Helena, you're a monster! How could you do something like this?
I couldn't help myself. It was just too funny. Kiara looked totally Instagram-worthy.
Before I could answer, Kiara's boyfriend came down the stairs too.
Here, babe, you forgot your jacket.
Babe, what are you doing here?
Helena invited me over while you and your sister were out. Listen, I can't date you anymore, not after seeing your skin.
He and Helena walked out the door before any of us could say anything. How could Helena do something so sick? I stayed with Kiara the whole day and told my parents everything that had happened. They grounded Helena for 2 weeks. And then the strangest thing happened. Kiara became more popular in school, and kids at school started ignoring Helena. Everyone thought Helena was heartless for stealing Kiara's boyfriend. She became a total outcast. Kiara got a new boyfriend, and Daniel became more and more handsome. By the end of 12th grade, he even got contact lenses. The day before my graduation, my parents pulled me aside.
Jasmine, we were thinking maybe you can apply for an online college.
We still really need you to keep an eye on your sister, sweetie.
Are you kidding me? I've been the family nanny my whole life. It's about time you two took over and taught the twins to be responsible. I deserve to focus on my life now. With that, I walked away, and I spent days applying to my dream colleges. But one night, while I was reading, Kiara ran into my room.
Sis, come quick! It's Helena! She's gone!
What do you mean, she's gone? I dashed into Helena's room to find my parents holding a note from Helena.
Helena wrote that she's leaving home to live somewhere else. She didn't even write where.
Dad called the police, and they tracked down Helena's phone. It turned out she was staying with our aunt, who Helena was super close with. We were all relieved, but when we went to pick her up, she refused to come home.
I told Aunt, I don't want to stay with you guys anymore, and she's happy to keep me. I'm not going home with you guys. You can't make me.
Mom and Dad spent hours begging her to come home, but they couldn't persuade her, so we left without her. But my parents were sure she'd cool off and return in a couple of weeks. Except she didn't. She stayed with Aunt for a month. Then 1 month turned into 3 months, and then 6. And Helena refused to speak to any of us. And I left for college soon with Daniel. I kept in touch with Kiara, who told me after some time that Helena had moved out of her aunt's place and was now living with some friend. 4 years later, Daniel and I graduated university with honors, and we started a small software company that met success almost immediately. And soon after, Daniel proposed to me, and of course, I said yes. Life was going great. And then one day, I got the most unexpected call.
Jasmine, it's Helena. Can you meet me today? I need your help.
No, hi, hello, how have you been?
Please, I'm in crisis. I'm texting you the address. Meet me there.
Helena hung up before I could even answer. I felt mad at her, but I just couldn't ignore my little sister. I went to the address and found her sitting on a bench outside a small building. Helena had chopped off her lovely hair, and she looked thin. Helena, what's going on with you?
I started a makeup business, and now I'm in debt. I was wondering if you could lend me the money to pay it off. I'll lose it otherwise.
You shut out your whole family for years, and now you call me out of the blue because you want money?
This is not how I wanted to reach out to you, okay? I wanted to make something of myself first, and make you guys proud of me. I was just never as perfect as you or Kiara, and that just made me jealous and stupid. And I'm sorry for everything. I've been trying to be better. I really believe my business can work, but now I'm in a mess as usual, and I could only think of you. You've always taken care of me.
I was surprised at how sincere and different Helena sounded, and it was good to see her trying at something. I wrote her a check and was about to leave when suddenly I turned back and handed her a wedding invite. I'm getting married in a few months. I'd like for you to come, and I'm sure everyone else would be happy to see you too. A couple of months before the wedding, Daniel took me out to a special dinner.
Jasmine, I've been saving up some money and doing research for years. Moebius, your condition can't be cured, but it can be slightly corrected through surgery. And I just found this amazing surgeon. I just want you to know that you're perfect as you are. But if you want the surgery, I have the money for it.
My eyes filled with happy tears. I agreed to get the surgery, and Daniel was by my side the whole time. The doctor couldn't completely fix my issues, but I felt like a whole different person being able to have real facial expressions. On the day of my wedding, my parents and Kiara were with me in the dressing room when suddenly the door opened and Helena walked in. Everyone looked shocked to see her, but I was so happy she came.
Guys, I know we've all had our issues, but can today be the day we all start to make up?
My parents hugged Helena and we all cried. And even Kiara joined in. Then my parents turned to me.
Jasmine, we're so happy for you and so grateful to you. We know we always put too much responsibility on you, and it wasn't fair.
We want you to know that we really appreciate you, love.
And hearing those words from them meant everything. My sisters walked me down the aisle, and I could hear people smiling and whispering that I looked amazing. Daniel beamed at me as he took my hand.
You have the loveliest smile, Jasmine.